Hello, everybody. Dr. Rick Wallace dropping in on you. I am not going to be long at all. I was just sitting up and I was having a conversation with someone, and a topic came up, and it prompted me to speak with you guys real briefly. So I'm not going to be long. I want to remind you, for those of you who are looking for a way to connect with like-minded people, to be in the midst of people who are thriving, I created the Epic Realm community of high achievers. There's so many benefits to this membership that I'm not going to go through them all right now, but I promise you, it's somewhere you want to be. You need somebody to fan your flames. You need somebody to provide mentorship. You want to talk about mental health. You want to talk about business. You want to talk about finance. You want to talk about growing as a person. You want to be around people who've already done it, who will show you and help you and support you and push you where there's no negativity allowed. I'm urging you to join the Epic Realm community. And for today, I will sweeten the pot and tell you I am willing to gift you a rapid change breakthrough session for every person who joins and creates a membership today. It's $100 membership, but it's a year of working in this community where you have access to me on a regular basis. Also, this rapid change breakthrough session is a $350 value. I'm going to leave that with you because I got to tell you what I got to tell you, and I've got to be on my way. But look, I was talking to somebody about the importance of being able to grow out of certain relationships that you may be guilted in staying in, and specifically those who you are born into a circle with. We don't get to choose our inherited circle. The inherited circle are the people that you are born into relationship with, your blood relatives and the people within that community that's close to your relatives. You don't choose that, you're born into it, and it's not always conducive to your development or the best possible way that you can develop, but it cannot become an excuse. Some of us are born into trauma, born into traumatic experiences, born into a darkness that can literally suck the life out of us, but it cannot be our defining moment. No matter how young we experience that trauma, no matter how young we experience the darkness, we have to be willing to heal. We have to be willing to grow. Here is the thing: you have a gift inside of you, and you being born into darkness didn't change the gift. It may have covered it, it may have hid it, it may have suppressed it, but the gift is still powerful. Now, here's the thing: you can't operate in the gift from a place of trauma. You're going to have to heal. Now, here's the thing: some people you were born into trauma with or around, or born into trauma too, may not be ready to grow. So here's the thing: people don't come to a universal point of desiring healing. In other words, everybody that suffered trauma in your environment won't come to the conclusion that they need to heal at the same time. So what happens when you get to a point of healing? They may guilt you, they may come to you, they may make accusations, they may do a bunch of things, because your desire to heal is going to make them uncomfortable. Your desire to heal is going to be convicting to their spirit, because a lot of times what happens is, when we've experienced trauma, when we've experienced bad situations, when people have caused us harm, it's easy to run to the blame game. It's easy to sit up and say, they did this to me, they did that to me. And what happens is you get caught up in it. And what happens, you become trauma bonded, in the sense that you have a connection based off of having been through trauma. Sometimes it's the same trauma. Sometimes you experienced it from the same people, but whatever, you're in this thing. And what happens is, when you decide to grow, very rarely are people going to come together simultaneously out of the same situation and say, we're growing today. Today is the day we start change. So when you start change, you create a level of discomfort. Why? Because the very thing that you're doing is erasing the excuse. See, when you decide that you're coming out of trauma and you decide that you're climbing, everybody that was in that box with you, that was coming together and simultaneously creating pity parties where they're sitting up talking about everything that happened to them. When you decide to come out of it, you create a conviction. What you are, by the very nature of your own actions, showing that there is no such thing as an excuse to stay in the trauma. There's no such thing as an excuse to accept less. There's no such thing as a reason to compromise or settle for something less than what your gift says you deserve, or what your gift says is possible. But what's going to happen is, you're going to have to walk out of it. Here's the thing, and this is the one thing that I try to share with everybody else. Don't let people guilt you in to a place that they cannot deliver you out of, because at some point in time, you are going to have a reckoning. At some point in time, and this isn't about any particular religion. For everybody that believes in a higher power, for everybody that believes in a higher source, there's a point of reckoning. There's a point of reckoning that says, this is what I was given. See, I never met a person in my life that did not have a gift. I've never met a person in my life that didn't have something on the inside of them that was valuable and that would open doors for them if they just access it. I've worked with people with Down syndrome. I've worked with people with other learning disabilities. I've worked with people with autism, Down syndrome, oppositional divine disorder, so many other things. I've worked with people from extreme poverty. I've worked with people from extreme financial abundance. And what I can tell you is no matter who I came in contact with, if I searched it, if I looked for it, if I was willing to sit down and discover it, I found the gift. That's something that I'm very, very, very good at. I find the gift, and in the gift is the power. Proverbs says that your gift will make room for you and it will bring you before great men. The thing is, a lot of people have had their gifts suppressed by their trauma. And what happens is when you start to walk out of that trauma, people won't like it. But here's the thing. At some point in time, when this is all over, you're going to have to go before the Creator, the Almighty, the Most High, however you want to refer to that source, God, however you want to refer to that source, you're going to have to go before that source. There's a reckoning, and the reckoning is going to be you explaining what you did with what you had. With what you were given, what did you do with it? I gave you a gift. I sent you to impact the world. You had a purpose. That was your whole reason for living. What did you do with it? Did you operate in the purpose, or did you become consumed with what was around you? Did you buy the illusion that you had been shut down by your trauma? Did you buy the illusion that you had been shut down by your suffering? Did you buy the illusion that where you came from dictated where you were going? Or did you rise up and live out the fullness of the gift? Now, this isn't religion I'm talking about, because it doesn't matter what or how you approach the source, but the source gave you something. You're not here. Suffering is not your lot in life. Poverty is not your lot in life. Being a doormat for everybody who wants to walk over you is not your lot in life. Settling for half of what you're capable of is not your lot in life. But if you're not careful, people will talk you into it. And your desire to get away from the strain and the struggle will allow you to settle into it and accept it. Because when you accept it, it no longer becomes a struggle. It becomes a part of simply who you are. But you're better than that. But there's going to be a reckoning. So many times I've sat down and I looked at it and I said, what would happen if I just didn't follow through? What would happen if I didn't go all out? What would happen if I decided to just throttle down a little bit and take a little bit more time to chill? Take a little bit. I'm not talking about not getting rest. Everybody needs rest. Everybody needs relaxation. Everybody needs to smile. Everybody needs to laugh. Everybody needs to enjoy. That's what but I'm talking about, you could be doing more, but you're throttling down because it's easy. And I asked myself, what would happen? And, my wife wouldn't get everything I have to offer. And I always want to give her more. But if I'm not giving her everything I have, it doesn't matter about giving her more. So then I said, okay, my kids will never really see the fullness of what's possible because I cheated them. But then at the end of the day, what it comes down to is I'm going to have to stand before the source, God, the Most High. And I'm going to have to sit up and say, look, you gave it to me. And for a while I was doing this, but then I just got tired. I could have did more, but I got tired. I could have did more, but I was more worried about that over there. I was more worried about what people were thinking. I was more worried about being around people who would accept me and like me, and they wouldn't accept me rising to the occasion because I made them uncomfortable. I didn't want to leave my family behind, but if I walked into my healing, they couldn't see me the way that they normally saw me because we didn't share the trauma any longer. So I stayed there and pretended to be in the same pain, and I didn't give it everything I had to give, and I'm here and I'm sorry. But I'll never get another chance to fulfill it. I want to stand before the Creator and I want to say, I came. I saw, I conquered, I got knocked down. Sometimes I got kicked. Sometimes I felt like the pressure was going to crush me, but I never stopped. I got up. I dusted off. I squared my shoulders. I held my head up high and I pressed on. When I finish, I tell you all the time that I live my life on full. Why? Because when I leave this place, I want to down there. I don't want to stand there with potential at the end of my life that was given to me to execute and say, well, I'm bringing it back. I didn't use it. That's my challenge. Use what you've been given. On that note, I got to get out of here. I have someplace to be, but like I said, look in that description box. If you want to be amongst people who are rising and doing exceptional things, if you want to be upon a place where you can get access to mental health tools, access to business counseling and consulting, access to mentorship, access to like-minded people on this annual membership, and get a free rapid change breakthrough session with yours truly. And we go after some things. We make things happen in that session. That one's gifted to anyone who signs up today. That's my call to you. It's time to walk in it. It's time to live it. It's time to embrace it. I won't be perfect. Never will. But I'll be okay with standing before God, say I came and I gave it everything. I don't have nothing to bring back but a report on what I did. I don't have any potential left that I didn't tap into because I went hard in the paint every day. What will you say? On that note, I'm out of here.